What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for Arrow Season 8, Episode 5, titled Protectionist. So with that in mind, let's just watch the trailer and then break it down.
The plans for a weapon that destroyed Earth 2 are in Moscow, at a fight club.
Dad, let us help.
You sure about this?
What's so fast? All of the Queen.
Mia!
The trailer begins with a shot of somebody's shadow, and they're walking through an alley. Based off the shadow, I think it is Laurel, and this is probably the storyline we're seeing involving the Monitor, which all things considered, even though this is a episode that is paying homage to Season 5, which I will talk about in a bit, that's probably the part that I'm most excited for, the Laurel storyline, because it involves the Monitor, and because it sets up the crisis. Now, the main storyline in Russia also involves the Monitor, but it doesn't actually feature the Monitor. He's not going to actually appear. Because of that, I am at least equally or maybe even more excited for the storyline with Laurel. I would talk about what I think they're going on here, what I think the Monitor wants from Laurel, and how he's trying to manipulate her, and whether or not he could bring back Earth 2. But I do think that he's manipulating her, and I don't think he can bring back Earth 2, and I think it is the Monitor, not the Anti-Monitor, but I don't know what he would use Laurel for. We're just gonna have to wait till this episode comes out to find out what that is. So William says that the plans for a weapon to destroy Earth 2 are in Moscow. Now, I feel like this is probably two different sentences cut together to just for the effect of the trailer, because that sentence doesn't make any sense. There's plans for a weapon in Moscow to destroy Earth 2. Based off what Curtis said, it seemed like there was plans for a weapon to maybe destroy the Monitor in Moscow, or plutonium. It seems like he was going to Russia to get plutonium to create a weapon that would hurt the Monitor. So this sentence from William, I don't know if Oliver is now going to Russia for two separate reasons, both involving a multiversal threat. One, because of a weapon that can destroy Earth 2, and also to create a weapon that can hurt the Monitor. Because if William is saying this, then that would be the case. So do you think this is probably two sentences, or maybe even more than that, cut together for the effect and dramatic effect of the trailer? So anyway, Oliver, Mia, and William go to Russia. It's possible that other characters go as well, but based off this trailer, it's only those three characters. Now, based off the title, it was clear that this episode was going to be an homage to Season 5, and now that we see the trailer, it's obvious he's going to Russia, and in Season 5, in the flashbacks, he went to Russia as well. He spent the entirety of the flashbacks until the finale in Russia, which is the same thing here. Now, this actually fits because of the title card, which for this episode, since this is Episode 5, will have the title card from Season 5. If you haven't noticed, every episode so far has used the title card for every season, but for this case, it's in order. Meaning, Episode 1 had the Season 1 title card, Episode 2 had the Season 2 title card, and so on and so forth, which fit for Episode 1 and also 3, but not really for Episodes 2 and 4. Episode 1 was an homage to Season 1, so it makes sense. Episode 2 was an homage to Season 3's flashback, so having the Season 2 title card doesn't really work. Episode 3 does work because it was mostly an homage to Season 3, while the Lila Diggle storyline was an homage to Season 2. It was mostly Season 3, and then Episode 4 was mostly an homage to Season 2 with the Deathstrokes, so that didn't really work, except for maybe Mia and her characterization in the episode. Maybe that was an homage to Felicity's characterization in Season 4. Anyway, now in Episode 5, the main storyline sees Oliver, Mia, and William going to Russia, an obvious reference to, or an homage to, the Season 5 flashbacks, which is why the title card for this episode will work. The question is, will the title cards for Season 6 and 7, or Episode 6 and 7, fit? Because based off the title of Episode 7, at least, titled Purgatory, I feel like that will be an homage to Season 5's present-day storyline, maybe the finale of Season 5, so that wouldn't really work with it being an homage to Season 7, but I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, Oliver, Mia, and William go to Russia to get the necessary materials to build a weapon to hurt the Monitor, or at least that's what the synopsis says, but apparently they have to go to some sort of fight club. Now, being in a fight club, this is obviously an homage to the Season 5 flashbacks, and the fact that it's in Russia is obviously that, but also it's specifically the first scene of the Season 5 flashbacks, which I thought was one of the more memorable opening scenes to flashbacks, as Oliver is in this fight. It's a great, really very well choreographed fight scene that that is pretty brutal. It ends with Oliver killing this #1 top fighter for the Bratva. This was in a fight club, and this is obviously what we're seeing here as well. The fact that it's in Russia, the fact that it's a fight club, it's a very obvious reference and homage to that. But the fact that Mia's here as well in this fight club, and also it's caged, unlike the one in Season 5 in the beginning, they might be killing two birds with one stone, where they're paying homage to both Season 5's flashbacks and Season 7's flash forwards, as the scene where we actually met Mia, where her name was Blackstar, was in a caged fight club where she was fighting. So they maybe be killing two birds with one stone, paying homage to the Season 5 flashbacks and paying homage to the Season 7 flash forwards, which the latter I don't think deserve an homage, while the former definitely does. Either way, it's pretty cool to see. Then there's also the question of who are these people that they're actually trying to infiltrate or trying to get into to get into the necessary materials. Based on what Curtis said in the last episode, that a general in Russia has plutonium or could get them plutonium or something. I'm guessing maybe the government or maybe even the military, but if they're actually paying homage to Season 5, it would most likely be the Bratva. Now, I'm pretty sure Anatoly is still a member of the Bratva and still a leader of the Bratva, so if he is, then he could definitely be appearing in this episode. I think it would be a huge waste if he doesn't, and considering the surprise of Grant Wilson appearing in episode 4, it is possible that they're also bringing back Anatoly for this episode, and they just didn't announce it or anything, and we haven't seen him in a while, like since like the end of in the middle of Season 7, so, you know, maybe it could be cool to see him return, and the fact that they're going back to Russia, this would definitely be the perfect time for that. But in terms of this organization, it could be either the Bratva, the government, the military, or maybe even the KGB. Actually, after I recorded this video, there were some photos released for the episode, which is why I did delay this video to today when I'm releasing it. I was going to release it yesterday, but anyway, these photos reveal a lot of things. Reveal that Roy's coming back, and I'll talk about that in a second, or maybe in a minute or something, but it also reveals that Anatoly is in fact coming back. However, it seems like he's a part of Laurel's storyline, whatever that may be, not a part of Oliver's. It just so happens that they're going to Russia, and Anatoly is appearing with Laurel, maybe because it's a part of an homage to Season 5, not necessarily because they're going to Russia. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that here because the fact that Anatoly is appearing has been confirmed. But whoever this person is, the trailer ends with him shooting Mia, or at least the trailer edits it to make it seem like he's shooting Mia. Now, this would maybe be a little bit intense if there wasn't like 1,000 reasons for why Mia won't die here or won't even be affected. Number one, I don't think they would put this in a trailer if it meant anything. Also, the fact that she literally just came here would literally make narratively no sense for her to be shot, either crippled or die here, like the episode or two after she came to the present day. Not only that, there are set photos of her as a Green Arrow or whatever her name is at that point in the crisis, and also she's getting her own TV show with the two Black Canaries where she is the Green Arrow, so there's like 4 or 5 reasons for why this scene of this person shooting Mia and Mia's reaction to this, Oliver's reaction to this, it probably won't end up meaning anything at all. So getting past the trailers, there's the images and the synopsis. The synopsis revealing that John Diggle gets his own storyline involving the return of somebody from his past. Now, I don't know who this somebody could be, but I'm hoping it's either Roy Stewart or maybe John Diggle's mother or something, because maybe that can begin his journey to becoming John Stewart after the hint from Elseworlds, after his father showed up. Maybe now, especially now with his costume, which is basically a Green Lantern costume with an added helmet, no logo, and no ring. But the fact that it's green, I mean, now maybe in this episode, John Diggle getting his own storyline without Lila, maybe it could be an actual Green Lantern storyline, or at least a John Stewart storyline. Either way, one thing that we know is happening in the storyline is that Arsenal will be a part of it. So in the images, there are actually a lot of them, most of them focusing on the Diggle storyline, which the trailer didn't at all, but it seems like John Diggle goes to wherever Roy is, like wherever he's on the run, he has this other identity, where he goes under the name Jason, where he's a mechanic, like he was in Season 3 after he faked his death, which honestly, I don't know why, this doesn't make any sense to me, unless this maybe, these scenes, like this scene specifically where Diggle goes to get Arsenal, to try to get him to be Arsenal again, Not obviously the scenes in the other images with Spartan and Arsenal, because Spartan is wearing his current costume, but maybe these scenes take place during the break between season 3 and 4, and maybe Diggle tried to convince Roy to come back to Star City for some reason, because if it's in the present day, I don't think that would make much sense. I mean, Roy being Jason at this point and having this mechanic job, it doesn't make any sense to me. Not only did he get rid of that job, not only did he leave that job during season 3, as he tried to get away from Thea, as he wanted to convince Thea to go back to Starling to be Speedy or to be a vigilante or whatever. But not only that, but during season 6 at the end, Oliver revealed to the world that he was the Arrow and that Roy took the fall for him, meaning that nobody really is after Roy at this point. The only thing I can think of for why he would be back here is probably the reason he is, which is the Bloodlust storyline from season 7, where he was killed, put in the Lazarus pit, and had the bloodlust that Sarah and Thea had during season 3 and 4, which I thought was really ham-fisted and out of nowhere, but that's probably what the storyline here is, where that's why he's not in Star City, that's why he's not Arsenal anymore, and for some reason, I honestly don't know why, Spartan specifically went to him and got his help to help him with whatever's going on here. Which is certainly something I'm excited for, because Arsenal is returning, specifically like actually wearing the costume, and also because in this image specifically, I think that Spartan and Arsenal together look cool because of the green and red, which Green Arrow and Arsenal should have. I mean, they do, but they're not teaming up in this episode, or at least it doesn't seem so. But one thing that probably is going to happen in these couple episodes 5, 6, and 7, is that Roy will have his Bloodlust storyline, but in episode 7, he will seclude himself on Leon, as there were set photos from episode 7 showing him crash landing on a plane, probably in Lian-Yu. I mean, episode 7 is actually titled Purgatory, so they're definitely going to Lian-Yu in that episode, but in the flash forwards, which are not fully canon anymore, but there are things in this flash forwards that are still probably going to happen. One of those things is Roy Harper secluding himself on Lian-Yu for, it seems like, 20 years, which in my opinion, he was not crazy enough in the future for just to be there for 20 years, but anyway, that's probably something that's going to be happening in the next couple episodes, which also means that Roy is probably going to be appearing in episode 6 as well, which hasn't been confirmed, but there's no reason why he wouldn't appear in episode 5 and 7, but then not 6, so I'm guessing it's going to appear in all 3 of those episodes, but those are probably the only 3 episodes he's going to appear in this season, and he's probably not going to be appearing in the crossover, which is really, really disappointing. But also, there's one more thing that's going to be happening in this episode based off the synopsis for episode 6. If you don't want to be spoiled, because this is a spoiler for this episode, while everything else I talked about was just speculation, this is confirmed based off the synopsis, which if you don't want to know it, then you should probably stop watching here. But from like here on out, from what I already talked about, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, I'll talk about the spoilers in 1, 2, 3. So in the synopsis for episode 6, it's revealed that Lila already betrayed Oliver. Something is going on that involving the Monitor, that Oliver at least thinks that Lila betrayed him. It seems like by episode 6, Oliver still thinks that the Monitor is not to be trusted, and he thinks that the Monitor is evil or something. But this probably means that in episode 5, this episode, Oliver, probably also Diggle and the rest of Team Arrow, learn that Lila's been working with the Monitor. I think it's going to be a crazy big reveal to them, because this is somebody that they've been known for a while. Diggle's known her for like over a decade, I'm pretty sure, and is even married to her with a kid, so it would be a crazy revelation to Diggle, and less so, but also Oliver and the rest of Team Arrow, that Lila's either been working with the Monitor for a while, or maybe this entire time, and the Monitor's even kind of her father, which I think is going to be crazy. But every episode so far had an insane ending, where episode 1 had the destruction of Earth 2, episode 2 had Lila being revealed to be working with Monitor, episode 3 had the ending with future Team Arrow coming to the present, and episode 4 had the Monitor approaching Laurel. It seems like episode 5's big ending will be Team Arrow learning that Lila's been working with the Monitor, which is a scene and a storyline that I'm really excited for. So that's it for this trailer / synopsis / promotional images breakdown. Let me know your thoughts on everything that's happening in this episode, everything to do with Oliver and the rest of the team, mainly just me and William going to Russia, Diggle's storyline with Arsenal, and even the reveal for Lila working with the Monitor to Team Arrow. Let me know your thoughts, and if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.